Hello to all students. I hope you are doing fine. This is Professor Masood Fuzail, and in this video lecture we are going to discuss stress. What is stress? Stress is a physical or emotional tension which is produced in our brain due to some emotional disturbance or any physical type of activities. It can also produce due to the presence of high level of cortisol during flight or fight response in our body. So today in this lecture we are going to discuss some causes, types, treatment and also symptoms of the stress. So first of all I am going to discuss some important three major types of the stress. The first type of stress is mild stress, which is very low in quality, and it is a very short term. So it can come and go, and everybody in their lifespan they usually undergo a stress which is known as mild stress. Sometime during emergency response or during emotional or physical disturbance, acute stress can also create it. Acute stress is very strong, very powerful, but the good thing is that it lasts only for a short period of time, and after that it can fades away and it can be treated. The third type of the stress is chronic stress, which lasts for a longer period of time and can lead to so many problems in our body. So we have to treat chronic stress, and we have to find a way so that we can avoid this kind of stress, because it can lead to so many problems in our body. So what are the major causes of the stress? Every person, even a child, even adolescents, even young teenager, men, women, old people, everybody undergoes stress for somehow. Some people which are more sensitive, more intelligent, they undergo more stressful situation in the life, and some other people which do not take interest in the life too much, and they are not sensitive and they are not so much intelligent, they usually less suffer with the stress. So there are two types of causes and through which stress can occur in our body. So first of all I am going to enlist some important causes which occur in our daily life. For example, starting a new job, or quitting a job, or getting fired from a job, which can cause stress, death of a loved one, financial problem, severe illness, problem at work, problems at home, because every person has problems, and these problems can lead to stressful situations. Rigid thinking, when you have a thinking in your mind which is very rigid and you do not have any flexibility, it can also lead to a stressful situation. Negative self-talk, you are thinking about dying, you are thinking about suicide, or you are thinking about killing somebody. These kind of things can also lead to stressful situation. And lack of flexibility in your behavior, in your thoughts, in your thinking, it is can also leads to different kinds of stressful situation. So this stress is not inevitable, so we have to have stress in different periods of or in different times of the lifespan. So what are the most important symptoms which can tell that you are undergoing a stressful situation? But first of all I am going to uh, take you towards one more cause of stress, and that is flight response. As you know that in our body there is this two types of nervous system: central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. Central nervous system include brain and spinal cord, while peripheral nervous system consists of nerves which is used for emergency situations. So there are many times in our lifespan when we encounter an emergency situation. So when there is an emergency situation, a fight or flight response is activated, and during emergency our peripheral nervous system, PNS, which is composed of motor nerves and sensory nerves, it is triggered, and the sympathetic part of peripheral nervous system activated. Sympathetic nervous system produced a hormone which is known as cortisol. The structure of the cortisol is right over here. This is an emergency hormone produced in our body, and which are also known as glucocorticoid. It is like a steroid. When this cortisol produces in our body, it makes certain changes in our body like dilation of pupils, increase of heart rate, increase of blood pressure. It inhibit digestion, and it make us alert so that we can tackle the emergency, and our response for the emergency has been increased to speed up the reaction time so that we can survive those emergency situation. If this system does not work, so most of the people can collapse during some severe emergency situation. So if this emergency situation is last only for a few minutes, then cortisol can also produce a stressful situation. But for the longer period of time, if the cortisol remains on your blood, this will lead to a chronic stress situation. So cortisol is also a major factor in the production of stress in our body, which is long term or chronic uh, stress. So now let's discuss what are the major symptoms which tells you that you are undergoing a stress. So first of all, I have some there are many symptoms, but I have chosen some important ones. First of all, autoimmune disorder. When there is more stress level in your body, there is more cortisol in your body, and this hormone can lead to autoimmune disorder because this hormone suppresses the immune system. And this when the immune system is suppressed, and then sometime this immune system backfires on your body cells and cause some kind of inflammations in your body and some kind of different kinds of diseases like lupus and diabetes type 2, and which can lead to then a very severe scenario which is not going to be treated easily. As cortisol and chronic stress can also lead to acne on your face. It all can also lead to asthma, which is a breathing problem. Either you having a too much breathing, or either you are feeling that your breathing will stop and you are going to die. So that is not actually an asthma. Actually, that is due to the presence of cortisol in your blood that is making you feel like an asthmatic person. You can also have more allergies to food, to pollens, to dust, to some drugs. You can also have acid reflux disease and gastritis due to the presence of stress in your body. Bad effects on brain, because the most effect of the stress is on your brains and your nerves, which are not going to be working efficiently, and your thinking power has reduced, your concentration power has been reduced, and you are not able to perform daily activities as you usually do. It can also lead to poor sleep. It can also lead to high blood pressure, diabetes, and some other kind of diseases. It can also cause inflammation of liver, inflammation of heart membranes, inflammation of digestive membrane, inflammation in kidney, inflammation of joints, arthritis, and blah blah blah. There is going to be more belly fat, and your legs are going to be very thin due to the breakdown of protein, and loss of electrolytes from the body, especially magnesium and potassium. Sinus problem also can arise due to the presence of long-term stress. Sleep apnea is also produced as a result of chronic stress, and there is an evidence that people who undergo a long-term stress, they can have a gallstones, which are small stones of cholesterol in their gallbladder. So when there is a chronic stress, a person can suffer from head to toe with different kinds of ailments, with different kinds of problems, and then the life will become very complicated. So we must have to tackle this situation, and we must have to overcome this stress so that we can lead a normal life. So when a person having a stress, so it is for very difficult for him or her to get out of from this situation. So there are two ways. First of all, you should go to a psychiatrist or a doctor who can prescribe you some medication to so that you can be relieved from the stress. And other way is that if there are some persons, your friends, your relatives, your mother and your father, who can assist you in overcoming this stress. So here are some techniques which can be adopted to reduce the stressful situation. So first of all, we are going to shift the attention, because the stress is usually caused by a single thought which is producing in your brain, and your brain has messed up, and you are not able to think, you are not able to concentrate, you are not able to perform your daily activity. You have a single thought in your brain, and you are keep thinking on, keep thinking and keep thinking, and there is no way out. Then we need help. We have to make a way to take you out from that thought, so that you can be diverted to some other kind of activity, so that you can get out from that stress. So shift attention is, so first of all, is the most important thing a person should have. If he or she cannot do it herself or himself, then somebody else need to help that person who is suffering from this stress. Taking in vitamin B1 in the form of a fresh vegetables, in the form of fruits, or in the form of pills or capsules, it can also helps to reduce the stress. High potassium food, since the stress is depleting electrolytes from your body, uh, especially potassium and magnesium, you must consume some vegetables or as such foods which contain potassium. For example, banana contain potassium, so you can eat banana, or you can take electrolytes which are sold over the counter in market, so that you can overcome the electrolyte deficiency. Exercise can also help to reduce uh, stress, but at the same time, too much exercise or too much physical work can also lead to stress. So a person suffering from stress must have a physical work or exercise, and must be a balance, because too much exercise and too much physical work can also lead to stressful situations. So very light exercise, a very light physical work, which is good for that person according to the nature of the person. The person having a stress must use low carb diet, because in the stressful situation, during production of cortisol and more concentration of cortisol in the blood, it is also already producing so much glucose in your body, which can lead to diabetes. And so must avoid carbohydrates, because it can, and the stress can makes you hungry all the times, and due to the excessive breakdown of protein in the body and too much glucose in your body. So you must avoid high carb diet. So you have to take protein in the form of a diet which is usually known as keto diets, that will help you maintain weight and also reduce the stress level. Relaxing techniques: if you are a Muslim, you can pray namaz. If you are a non-Muslim, you can do tai chi, you can do yoga, or whatever meditation you can perform according to your religion. That can also help to reduce the stress level. Sense of humor: produce a little bit sense of humor, say some jokes, listen some jokes, see some shows or dramas or movies which are funny, so that you have a little bit of joke, you have a little bit fun, so that you can be get out from that stressful situation. Spend a time with your family, because every person nowadays is very busy in their lives, and no person has a time for other one. But still you have to take a time to sit with some people who can assist you in stressful situation. But most of the people are going to criticize you on this stressful situation, so don't go towards them. Stay away from those people, and stay with those people who are taking care of you, or who can know your situation and take you out from that stress and leads into a normal life. Adopt a hobby. This is also very important. Usually in this situation, a person, because of lack of concentration, cannot adopt a very good hobby, but he or she should try to make a hobby, like doing a puzzle, playing a game, or reading a book, or knitting, or something else, whichever he or she can be adopted to that hobby, because in this condition, so there are not much options left, because people are unable to concentrate on different kinds of hobbies. Take a deep breath. Exhale the air from your lungs. So as long or as much you exhale the air from your lung, the fresh air will go in your body. That will help you to release the stress. Keto diet, as I already mentioned, is mostly usually more protein, more fats, and less carbs. You can adopt that. Taking in vitamin D3 can also lead to less stressful life, and it can helps you to decrease in the stress situation. So these are some tactics, but if these tactics are not working, then you must have to take some medication from a psychiatrist, so that you can cope with the uh, this stressful situation. But you are a doctor of your own. First of all, you have to be a strong, and you have to take your brain out of that stressful situation, and then if it doesn't work, then you can take some medication, because medication also have very side effects. And I hope it makes sense. That's all for today, and I'll see you in the next lecture. Bye.